I'm gonna actually vibe with this one as well. I fell for it. I think the media fell for it a little bit. The whole CJ Stroud vibe, right? Here's what I think happened. If they go this route, which you and I both, we're not fisticuffs right now. We're both agreeing here.
Yeah.
My thing, what I will say is that when you look at Frank Reich, former quarterback, pocket passer, guy that would prefer more like CJ Stroud. And I think that's why, the vibes started kind of leaning towards CJ Stroud. Best pocket passer by far in the draft, probably the safest pick. And,
Ohio, Indiana, Midwest, not far. Fans can just travel. Yeah.
Well, and then so he's in Carolina now, and that's my thing. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's tired of just the guys that can move out of the pocket, like Wentz. But then I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, because then you look at Phillip Rivers and you look at a little bit like he had a slice of pie with Matt Ryan before he was ultimately fired. So let me be real here. I think there was probably some internal discussion. Josh McCown, the quarterback coach, Thomas Brown, who we know very well, former running back, tight end, and assistant head coach of the LA Rams. I think they all kind of had this internal discussion. They're like, yeah, CJ Stroud might be better right now, but Bryce Young represents what the NFL is trending in, the direction they're going in. If you look at all of the quarterbacks we just talked about yesterday, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, those are guys that escape the pocket. They might not be straight up running quarterbacks, not all of them, but they can run. But the whole point of it is that they have the pocket mobility to succeed at this level. And there has to be a trade-off here, Cam, because we just saw Kayvon Thibodeau go last year. He is a freak of nature off the edge. You're seeing these guys now, edge defenders, coming off the edge, running 4.47. It's getting to the point where we're going to see a 4.2 guy coming off the edge. It's going to happen. Yeah. And then at that point, you need to have you need to have a counter to that, because not every left tackle is going to be able to stop that. And so what happens? Well, I'm not saying it's a foolproof method, but having a guy that can take off and get out of the pocket and escape a little bit does help. And I think Bryce Young, a guy who didn't run as much as he could have in college, a guy that's more disciplined. This is not your stereotypical, everyone looks at the RG3 comp anytime somebody runs. Why you don't run RG3? No. Bryce Young is really, really smart. He doesn't run to run. He runs to set up the pass. He really wants to throw down the field. He's been compared to Drew Brees. I see some Jalen Hurts right now in his game. I think he's a combination of those guys. I think he's a little bit of Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. I mean, it might seem cliche because they're all kind of, smaller in stature, but he plays like that. Like those are pocket passers mixed with some runners there, but he has the ability to run. He has great athleticism. I believe he ran a 4.5, and I trust him to throw the ball, make all the throws all over the field, and be a leader and play for a big time program at Alabama. I don't have to worry about him where the bright lights are too bright.
Yeah. I mean, he won the Heisman. I mean, come on, this guy has it all. And you mentioned the Drew Brees piece, and told you I was watching the Eli Manning and Peyton Manning piece with their dad, and they compared him to a Drew Brees, and to get that compliment is insane. Not everybody can be compared to a Drew Brees, and so to get that compliment is next level. I think the Panthers fans or whoever gets this young man, it should be excited. I think one thing that we do have to note is staying healthy. He is a smaller quarterback, and so they talk about this with Kyler Murray. Staying healthy, that's extremely important. If the quarterback's not healthy, we just talked about it, the Trey Lance piece, it's going to be tough. But I do think he'll be able to start right away. He'll be able to contribute right away. He'll be smart. He'll take care of the football, and he's going to win some football games. He's going to win a lot of football games. So I like it. I'm vibing with it. And, going back to your point about being able to escape the pocket, we just talked about someone who has wheels, right? We talk about a Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, he might not seem like he can roll, but he can roll. And so, like you said, you need to have guys that can move around. I remember Bryce Young seeing a couple games where he's almost getting his head taken off, but he has that wiggle to be able to get out of it, throw the ball down the field, and make plays. And that's what you need. And so the Panthers, if they're going to get Bryce Young, they have to make sure that their offensive line can block, Jake. If people go back and listen to our Believe in the Rams podcast, we don't want our quarterback running for his life, right? I mean, like you said, the defensive ends are getting faster. They're running 4.4s, 4.3s. They're going to have to run for their life, but they shouldn't have to do it every play, right? If you have a guy that can a tackle that can slow them down and a running back that can go and chip protect, then okay, we can work with something. But the fact that Bryce Young can move, he can evade the pressure, be smart, protect the football. That's what the Panthers fans need at this point. The only time that they had something great like this, I would say, is since Cam Newton, when they were able to go, contend for a title. They might have another chance in this quarterback too. So, hype to see what happens in a few weeks here.
Yeah, I actually, kind of going back to that offensive line piece, I think they got a really good looking offensive line, Cam. I think, outside of, obviously the questionable nature of Austin Corbett suffering that injury at the end of the season, that really sucked. I don't know if he'll be back in time for the season. If not, they might have to draft somebody. I know they drafted Cade Mays last year, 6th rounder there. Brady Christensen is a 3rd rounder from the 2021 class. He's slated to start. Ike Ekwonu, who was their 1st round pick last year. He's their left tackle. They feel good about him. They paid Taylor Moton, who's going to be protecting the right side. And then you got Bradley Bozeman, who they paid money to, the former Baltimore center. So, I actually really like the direction the Panthers are going in. Dare I say, I think that they will win that division easily.
Oh,
I do. And I said that
vibe, don't vibe, Jake. Are you vibing? Are you doubling down on that one?
Oh, I'm vibing with it. I'm vibing. Bryce Young and the Panthers will be hosting a playoff game.
Hot take. Clip it up. Put it on the Believe social.
Rack it up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.